Oh, in a very, I guess, late evening, early morning, late around midnight. I don't know, Los Angeles. So it is yours. It is him. It is yours. Don't mind me. This is how I usually try not to take shit so seriously. Hair is not perfect. Shirt, not nothing's perfect. And in life, I think that's what you need to realize that nothing is perfect. Nothing really is. Um, so okay, I guess I'll just jump right into the three pillars. That I guess I call it. I know other people have called it, but I like to say that why almost nobody has it. I wrote this down. Let me see if I can read this properly. Always good to write shit down when it comes in your mind because you got so much shit going on. You're gonna forget it for the most part. And when you know pen touches paper, it kind of solidifies something in your mind that means something to you. I put, the successful, the three, what I put? Oh, sorry, I'd be so lazy here. Yeah, so like, becoming successful financially, physically, and then I put mentally slash educationally. Okay, so I guess they're all self-explanatory. Like, well, you could be, having too much of one and not any of the other. I guess, if you want to talk about the epitome of having all three, I guess you could say like, Arnold, like, you know, Mr. Olympia, and then like, just the fame, so money, uh, and so that equates to like education, the smarts to be able to do that. You necessarily don't have to have a doctorate, a doctorate degree to solidify yourself as being, educationally fit, um, or like mentally fit. Of course, I guess doctors that solidifies that part of the pillar. A lot of doctors have money; they're financially fit. I guess it just depends, like what your definition of financial fitness is. Just like, or just physical fitness, like Ronnie Coleman. Of course, not now. That dude. I don't think he can walk without crutches. Um, like that's an example of something done to the extreme. Um, too much of one and nothing of the other. Now I know he owns his own supplement company. The guy makes a lot of money off that now, but you just have to try to take this from the perspective that, like, why can't you be all three? Like, why can't you be somebody that has all three? The Rock, for example, that's all three. Now you don't have to be big like that, but you see guys in phenomenal condition. He's famous as hell, makes a lot of money. Articulate, like when you hear him talk, he's smart. So that's like, he holds all three pillars, easily. That's um, Joe Rogan is another perfect example of somebody that holds all three. Again, you don't have to say, well, you're not worth 50 million, then you don't all know. But these are like extreme examples of people that podcast, you could hear how articulate he is, educated. Um, he bought a $10 million house and physically fit. You seen that guy where those shirts like fucking, solid and everything. Like guys like former, like world champion martial artist. I think he hosts, the UFC commentate thing. That's epitome, dude. That's like all three pillars, man. You got all three. Now you don't have to be a fucking world class fighter or the WWE former champion to hold these things. I'm just talking being in fucking, great physical condition, great financial condition, and then great mental and condition. Um, it's going to be harder for some than others. Most, unfortunately, a lot of people have either too much of one or none of all three. Like it's a difficult man. Like listen, we all have our challenges and things like that. I know a little bit, quite a bit about the fitness thing, but I walk every day, so like I kind of make it to where you know I uh, I make it's a forced habit. I have to be walking around. Um, I see a lot of younger people, like, younger women. Of course, their bodies, for the most part, I've seen younger women with awful bodies, but for the most part, women in their prime, they don't got to work out, because their bodies are holding together. If they're 25 years old, 27, the body, it's going to be pretty solid on average. But when the age starts kicking up, like without any maintenance, Will Smith talked about this. He's about 40 years old for a dude. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, you're definitely going to see some changes. And change is not to the good way. Um, my thing is that I've built so much knowledge, over 30 years, on and off with the bodybuilding and the fitness thing. So when I started, I said, hey, I want to get back in first class condition. That's so easy for me. Now the work is not easy, um, but it's doable for me because like what I know. I mean, it's like in my arsenal. Like I just know exactly what you have to do, and people make fun of it. Like, you grunt and grind in the gym, and people start laughing, whatever, like that. And I think I don't know if this dude was laughing at me today. I was doing leg work in the morning, um, back to back. I did work at night. Check this out. Check out this fucking hardcore fucking routine. I did legs, um, on Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I did legs Wednesday night, 9 to 11 at night, and then Thursday morning, 8 in the morning, legs again. Now, slightly different routine. Um, I was pushing. I do this one. I do lots of variations of exercises because I believe you have to hit the legs at all angles. People, they don't. They do generic. They do quad extensions. The leg extensions. They'll do lying V's, hamstrings. They'll do the abductor, whatever, the adductor, the fucking calf raises and leg press. The stationary, like squats, whatever, Smith machine. Like I don't prescribe to this generic way of performing same monotonous, exercises. I mean, I'm not going to get into a whole thing about what I do, but there's a sled in my gym, and most people, when they push the sled, their arms are out, like straight in front, they're pushing. It's like, I know it's a whole body movement utilizing your back and your leg, but dude, there's a way that I get real low. Talking about where my hand placement is about 4 inches off the ground. Now that, and the way that I push, it's like plant and press. So like I'm fucking doing, I take all the pressure off my upper body using all fucking legs to push, and it's like the pump was like fuck. So I'm doing my way progress that nobody's gonna fucking do, and they're not gonna know because they don't have 30 years of experience of doing this. I create exercises that will basically work for me, and I don't do exercises that are not good, that my body just doesn't get anything off of. Um, everybody is different. Um, the machines, they're stationary, and not everybody responds to them the same way. I've done some exercises that are kind of, they're really hard, but they're worthless. They get like nothing off of it. So, the whole thing is you should be learning. Why don't you become a trainer? Go cheerleading to people that, like to be that kind of person, that have good bedside manner, as my friend Chris likes to point out. I'm over that you can't afford to hire somebody like, oh, you can't, dude. What what I know is like, it's like ridiculous. I'd want like $300 an hour, like, lawyer money, to teach you what I know, because trainers don't, it's like nonsense. So, that's, they say, is that. And so yeah, yeah, like, um, I got, I know somebody, I got an acquaintance slash friend that he's got a lot of money. He lives in a penthouse in Beverly Hills, owns all these properties and stuff. So I guess he's like a 10 when it comes to financial. But fitness, the guy can't even walk a mile. So he's a zero, you know. Educationally, I guess that's a tough one. I think the guy dropped out of college or something. I know, you don't have to have, but it just seems that he, like, too much of one and nothing really of the other two. I guess you got to be somewhat educational to have that kind of money in real estate, but it's not a, you know, but when you lack something, it takes on that, third pillar. So you see, it's like the Parthenon, like the Acropolis in Greece, you know, it's like those pillars, they hold up the great, the cultural icon of Mount Olympus. And you see, most people don't have those three pillars. It's a very rare combo. It's like you don't have to make it like Jack LaLanne, like, I guess to me he had all three pillars, but you're talking about somebody that revolved around the fitness industry. Like, you don't have to revolve yourself around the fitness industry to hold all three pillars. I'm just giving examples of people that, I admire, and believe me, there's plenty of people that are in good shape that are, you know, very successful in real estate. Look at that guy. What's that? Grant Cardone. I listen to him sometimes. He's in good shape. Like in financial shape. God, guy's on his way to be a billionaire. And educationally sound, the way the guy talks, he's definitely got all three pillars. I mean, that's fucking this idiot, this fat some guy. Like, he buys and sells, big properties in Vegas. He's a giant fat guy. He's like close to 400 pounds, maybe more. He's smoking a cigar. I don't even want to get. I don't even know. I'm Jewish. I think he's like Jewish. It's ridiculous looking. And maybe he's got money. He's got that one pillar, but the health is like a zero, like with that guy. And the education, maybe somewhere fitness level is a zero, and your money is a 10. I mean, do you see, like, you're a 5? You're nothing. And it's worthless. All fucking NPC top bodybuilder, or fitness, incredible classic Olympia or something like, I don't know, incredible Frank Zane looking, or whoever. There's a million bodybuilders, and be dead broke. It's bad. That's just as bad. Walking around, I said this before, and I'll say it a million times. A body is not necessarily building a life. Nobody ever says that. I and that don't, and you be an educational nothing. Like, to me, if you're fit, like, in incredible shape, you should hold a doctoral degree in kinesiology to back it up. And I hold a master's in phys ed, which is close to kinesiology, and it's nothing to me. It's nothing. It's not enough. That personal training certificate with CPR certification or something like that, or ISSA, certification. Or no, to me, if you're in incredible condition, you should hold a doctorate degree in, like, kinesiology or something in a you know uh, related field. You got to be able to back biz. Like, that to me, that's just the pillar. Like, it stands behind, like, because it shows, like, you're, like, articulate, like, not just articulate, but you're a researcher, like, you've written papers on it. You're not just all show and no go, like that. Like, you have to do the homework and everything like that. I got a master's of science in physics, so I back up like what I know. It's not just 30 years gym experience. I got I got the school knowledge to back it up. I guess if you like, let's say Samir Bannout, I watched him say, you know, don't have to have a doctor. To me, that's, there's only been what, 13 people to have win the coveted Mr. Olympia title. He's one of them. You see where I'm going with this. It's like if you go up to people and say, "Oh, you're an actor, a comedian." Well, if they don't know who you are, then how good are you, or how famous are you? You're not. And nobody's ever seen you in anything. Um, then you're not successful. You're not. I'm very sorry. Acting is like a promotion profession, and if people don't recognize you from anything, then now maybe you did shit like in the '80s. Let's say Mark Singer, for example. I don't know why that name came to me, but I like sci-fi, so V. If I met Mark Singer, I would say, dude, it feels like Beastmaster. I say, no, V. I know your work. Most people wouldn't recognize, but if you went to a sci-fi show, the people would know. Many people know. Now, of course, it's not like Mark Hamill Star Wars, but still, I got a lot of respect for dudes like Mark Singer. I mean, he was fucking really good. Unfortunately, his career did not explode. Like it just didn't take off. And that always bothered me. Like, as far as an actor, there's no rate of progression. Like, you don't know. It's not like the military where you work your way up, you earn your proverbial stripes, or you become a commissioned officer. You go from like second lieutenant to first lieutenant to captain, almost a commodore. I don't know. I think that was a rank in the Navy. I'm not sure. I know in Star Trek there is a commodore rank, but my point is that you could have had work. You could have been being pushed really hard. I guess like in the '80s, was that the show fulfilled any giant potential? Like never really made it big. They're around in the '80s. It's like a sad story. I heard of that kid in that show, Small Wonder. He was living under a bridge, homeless. You know, the, it's like getting a little bit of spotlight, for a little while, and then it fizzling out, and then Margot Kidder, another one that, Lois Lane. I mean, come on, she went crazy. She died. I'm not sure, but you just don't know. I mean, Gene Hackman's career. I mean, come on, that's huge. Harrison Ford, huge, huge, huge. Yeah, imagine those people. Like somebody meets them and they go, "Sir, what do you do?" And they go, "Well, I'm an actor." Everybody knows who fucking John Travolta is. I mean, these are top of the top. Imagine like Jennifer Lopez. Somebody, man, wow, you're really pretty. What do you do for a living? I mean, they're world renowned, iconic. It's like these are a handful of people. I mean, I saw this pretty hot chick. She was out there by Rocco's, in West Hollywood, and so that you go, I'm a tick. They you know why they came up with YouTube and like TikTok is because those people were not good enough to dance on television. Okay, not good enough, dude. You got to be fucking something really really exceptional, to get or just so stupid, dude. I was featured on two shows on 100,000. I wonder why. I mean, I'm humble about it. I didn't win, but dude, like now, so many people think they can dance, and so they call that stupid can dance because look, and I was the oldest person on the season 1 premiere. Again, I'm not bragging, but this is the reality. Like they put me on there for a fucking reason. Like it's not that TikTok or some idiot they think they can dance. They have no fucking idea. Um, to them they're just moving. They have no flow of anything, and that's due to the music that the music you stuff today. So, garbage is garbage, and that's it. Say that there is no talent out there. There is, but I'm just telling you that. Well, they can't impress me, um, but there's not many of them. You're not gonna fool me. Um, I've just, I've been through the wars, man. I've seen it all, So that is that, That's so, that again, the three pillars. I want you to think about that. Like, are you just one of those other? I guess there's nothing wrong with being average, because the problem is that if you're not really, can't really figure out, like, like Grant Cardone talks about, his dad took him when he was a kid, just driving around looking at real estate, looking for deals, looking for real estate. That's like what I call a good boost. Gave me, like a good foundation. It was like Donald Trump's dad. I think dad, owned all this real estate and marketing, all this stuff, and gave his son a building to get started. So it's not surprising that these people are mega wealthy, because what they have, they were given the tools, one way or the other, to get started. Did they work hard? Fuck yeah. Yeah. It's like, can you imagine somebody giving you the tools and going, here, I want you to do, here's how you take this and then you do this, and you do all the work. And then there you go. You have your fucking thing. And, and it's like, my point is that they gave them the tools. Without the tools, um, not to say it's impossible for you to figure out the blueprint, but it makes it like difficult on top of difficult. Like, it's, you know, years, like somebody will come up to you and say, "Hey, man, I want to learn how to do this. Can you help me? You're in good shape. Can I pay you?" No, because a lot of people are notoriously cheap. Um, they don't value fitness and health over things that I consider to be significant. Let me give you an example, and this is where you're going to get upset, but it's I don't care. Um, I love animals, right? But where I live here in West Hollywood, it's like almost everybody has a dog, like or something. It's like that's their investment. I don't want to get off topic, but I want you to think about this. You know, their investment is making sure like the dog is fed, the dog gets exercise, the dog is taken care of. So you're doing all that for a dog, but you're not doing it for yourself. Well, emotionally, you're doing it for yourself because you don't have anybody. But think about this. I look at most people, like I see these people that they're looking off shape, nothing, and they're walking their dogs like that's their whole life. Um, some of these people, like they put all their money into their homes, into their cars, but they look like shit. And I just prescribe. I think like they're taking all of everything, their energy, they're putting everything into things that superficial things that don't matter. Now you could say, well, to look superficial for, well, you know what? That's people's perception. I think that most people are not in good shape. When someone says, "Oh, I'm not fat," this dude Cali Muscle, okay, he's fucking, an immense guy, like a ridiculous, huge bodybuilder, but he said something profound, and I will say it in the ghetto slang that he said it in. He said, "If you can't see your abs, you fat, homie." That's really. So in white people talk, in educated talk, it says if you can't see your abs, you're not in shape. You're fat, like, and it was really interesting. It was really interesting. Look, I've seen people that are like kind of thin bone, but they have like a gut in where, like, and somebody said, well, he's not fat. Look, you don't have to be 300 pounds, like big bone thick to be fat. Like I just said, if you can't see your abs, you're fat. like really, really thin. I have a friend that's like, he's real thin. He's not healthy though, because he smokes and drinks all day. That's what he's putting in his body. He's putting in toxins instead of good nutrients and good food and getting exercise and everything. He's like 61 years old. He's falling apart because he cares not to take care of himself. He cares more about putting pollution in his body. Look, I did the same thing for years. That ain't fucking, that ain't gonna help you. And what it's going to do is what I had. And over a long period of time, it went away. I stopped drinking, and I kind of watched my diet. I do have like some stuff with some sugars in it, ice cream, vanilla ice cream, and um, a lot of stuff I have is with natural sugars. And I never really had any problems with that. Carrot juice, beet juice. Just nutrient dense foods, dude. Good quality. You know how much money I spent? Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, and 4-time Mr. O. I know these guys, like he's like a walking behemoth, bad example. But he said something. Dude spends 100,000 a year on food. 100,000 a year just on food. Okay, you don't have to spend that. My point is like you get what you put. You're gonna get what you put out. What you get, what you. They're not exceptional. They're not. They don't hold the three pillars. They're nothing. You could own a million. Yeah, own $1 million property and look like shit. You could have $1 million body and be broke. So again, too much of one and not enough of the other, and you're not complete. You're just not. It's just most people are not complete. I'm sorry, and they're not going to sacrifice, to get. Again, can you imagine somebody like they got millions of dollars, they're not in good shape, they could pay me $500 an hour, no problem. To train them or work with them and get them on the right path. And they're $500 an hour. Hey, that's all. That it doesn't matter what it costs. It doesn't matter if I said $1,500 an hour. The point is, if you don't have those three pillars, my friend, you're lacking. You're negating, and that's the problem. Is most people's mindset. I work for that money. I get money. I asked my friend Chris this today. He works. He does like I don't want to really knock him, but he does like schlep rock work sometimes. And I asked him, I wanted to understand why. Because a lot of people, they have this like ingrained mentality of they have to work just because everybody else does. You'll be like everybody else does. And everybody else ain't nothing special about them. They're just fucking ordinary, going through fucking life, doing the same fucking monotonous thing like everybody else. And I got my answer, and I've been satisfied with that. But you see, I don't think like everybody else does. To me, my time is more valuable. I'd rather just do whatever I want to do. I'd rather go lift weights at until around 7 at night, 11 o'clock at night, work out whatever, and be some schlep rock, working for somebody else, telling you what to do when they want, not having the energy to go work out to make whatever $100, 150, $125 a day or whatever, 150 a day. It's not $125 a day. I can't afford a $1 million property or even $100,000 property. I can't. There's enough hours. I don't have enough lifetime left. I'm not far from 50 years old. I don't have enough lifetime left to make nickels and dimes. It doesn't pay. So I'd rather have next to nothing. Now I have enough to eat, to train and to eat, not enough to move ahead. Now, if I could figure out a way to snowball it fairly quickly, um, through building my credit and then leveraging that into something to get it going, I will consider make you a round peg, force it into a square hole, shave off the sides. They don't let you be unique. Like see, I'm that round peg. I ain't going into the square hole. Like in fitness and whatever. Then fucking and have nothing. And then be a schlep rock at this age. I don't have enough lifetime left. I just don't. So, in a way, it's like I feel like I have like one of the pillars, one of the other pillars, because again, I'm close to being a doctor. So, doctors agree that it's so powerful because buying, things that you want. $1,000. I told this woman I just sold a baseball, a little bit of my, a decent amount of my credit card bills, but it's not. The problem is people are so satisfied with, they think that's a lot. I don't think like most people. To me, it takes real money to move ahead in life. And look how much, houses and condos go for in West Hollywood. I'm not gonna be able to afford it. And that's not my self-defeatist attitude. It's like, it's just too much. I mean, it's just, you got to hit something fucking huge. And for me, that is huge because, my lifetime, I've never been close. The closest I ever been, Palladium futures, and it did go up a little bit. I took it over the top. I was close to like 50 grand once in my life with the Palladium futures. Like when some of the altcoins, crypto, I made like 10,000 and was going up, and I stayed with it, and the second I got in, it fell off, went over the cliff. It's not greed. It's just, it just didn't. I couldn't get a subscription. If your credit's not good, you got to put down like 30%. You got to put down like 3,000 on $100,000 property if you don't have the credit. And now I'm me big risks. Like I was really willing to like 50,000, and I basically bought gold, and I got killed. So unless you hit something, you need to be right once. Everybody says that's true. But out there, you got to go for it, and it's like you're being patient, and so you go for it and you get fucked. Imagine you don't. Dogecoin, the horror story. It was like 10 years ago, and he bought like 1 million of them for $300, and it went, and the company went under or whatever, that held the wallet or something, and Dogecoin went to like 70 something cents at one point. Oh my god, it's like $750,000. Oh my god, he couldn't access it. It's gone. Like he knew he was right, and he couldn't. For his $300 investment, he would have Dogecoins at like 25 cents. You'd have $250,000, $100. I'm trying it with Shiba. I'm leaving it in there. I don't care. It's like $250. I put in, I had like $2,000, went down to $250, and I forgot about it. I forget about it. I don't care. It's saying Coinbase. I don't give a shit. So I die with it. Great. I don't. To me, it goes to a fucking penny. $280,000. If I had like $250,000, think about this. If I had $250,000 right now, I couldn't even afford a condo in this area. Nothing. In Vegas, I could afford a beautiful $100,000. I've seen these in security buildings, tennis courts, golf. Golf. Night person. I don't give a fuck if it's 80 degrees at night. At night, I don't give a fuck. And I'm not going to be some married. I never had kids, and I have no pets. I designed my life this way at this point. So I make it as easy as possible on themselves. And then they wonder why life is so hard. I want you to think about that. This manager lives next door. Got a fucking kid. They got no money, nothing. They work and everything like that. They're not going to move to Vegas. They think out here they're going to make it. It's like a bum in Beverly Hills. They got nothing. They're just in the environment, but they own nothing. You have nothing. And if you own nothing, if you're paying whatever, you're just making somebody else rich and you're just barely surviving. You're fooling yourself. You think you live in the area like you're a dance movie script. And that's just the reality of life. That there's very few people that are something, and then there's everybody else. Now, like I have a friend, it doesn't bother him. Like I remember, I went into a Rolex store in Las Vegas. I will never forget this as long as I live. I went in there. Around and the guy, this guy working there, who's a nice suit, comes up to me, look around, and he goes to me. I said, "Man, yeah, I like these." I was telling him which Rolexes I like, and then he looks at me and he goes, "Where's yours?" He said, "Where's yours?" I told him, I usually wear, excuses. Um, um, Rich Gaspari, there's a nutrition store not far from me. He showed up. Flex Lewis. This guy was right to me. Like, I asked him, I said, "How much do you weigh?" He's like 215. It was like standing. He was like, it was standing next to like a fucking brick, fucking marble, uh, bodybuilder, and he's wearing this fucking. I just like, man, I wish I could be like that guy. You know, did his thing in bodybuilding. He got second those years that Lee Haney was winning. I think it was. He could hold his own against Lee Haney. Just like epitome of. That's a guy. That's so Rich Gaspari is another one that has all three pillars. And I'm talking three pillars. Man, it just bothers me. Another guy who has all three pillars is John Cena. I know all these people like fitness people. That's what I relate to, those guys. But imagine, I listened to Joe Rogan talk about this. He talked about Bill Gates, Elon. It was a perfect combination, the perfect storm of passion and like perseverance, like that. You see that picture with Jeff Bezos, shows him in 93, that we're able to hit the extreme and become like any of those guys, but, you know, it's like just doesn't even have a computer. Like me, in a way, I have low cost housing and just survive. Um, remember, the earth continually time, and if you don't, sitting on a corner or wherever, smoking a cigarette, just sitting there, passing time, they're not moving ahead. And watching, they're just sitting out there, they're not doing anything. It's either smoking or whatever, they'll say they're not doing that. They're just watching. What's going to happen is they're going to get hungry. Your body is continually burning calories. And why they're not walking around, it's a combination. Bodies continue the blood to quote unquote a lazy bum. Between you sitting on the couch with your feet up watching television, homeless guy on the street smoking a cigarette or sitting there. There's not much difference. Mr. Olympia, fitness pillar. You don't have to be a millionaire to hold a financial pillar, and you don't have to have a doctorate degree. You got that, then you kick ass in life, and you get everything like that life has to offer. Be a good wealth, and those are the people that are killing it. It's like 100 a day. 20 sets of 5 throughout the day.